and then the rest of the program will remain standing until the Chancellor constitutes the third session of the 17th congregation of the University of Kyambogo University. We are very glad today we have our PhDs. We have a big number of our PhDs, and we welcome you. I'm also informed that we have the best female student today in this congregation. You are very welcome. You are very welcome, all of you, everybody. It's an honor to have all of you here. For our online audience, the Chancellor's procession is entering, and we shall request all of you to stand, and then the music will lead us.
In a Richard Plus.
Thank you very much. It's the Chancellor's procession has arrived, and we shall have the anthems.
Afrika Mashariki. kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Kyambogo University, what a mighty center you are. We owe to you in entrust our future today. Among the skills and knowledge you freely and truly give us, from the nations long and oppressed, we surely shall succeed. Kyambogo University, we are proud of you, for the mission straight, for the vision so bright, and the effort to provide the skills to the young and the old in education, science and other fields, beyond the slope, prevalent. The pillars that you made us strong and firm on the stone. So vast, so focused in all that they do. The grace and understanding, your goals remain so distinct. Your vision so among us, to us and to all. Kyambogo University, we are proud of you, for the mission straight, for the vision so bright, and the effort to provide the skills to the young and the old in education, science and other fields, beyond the swamp, prevalent.
Thank you very much. Remain standing for the prayer. Today's prayers will be led by Imam Abdul Nasal Mutiawa, the Imam of the Kyambogo University Mosque. Imam, you're welcome.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. O Allah, the creator of everything, you are the one self-sufficient. There is none co-equal or comparable to you. You are the most high, the giver of bounties without measure, and you are all aware of everything. O Allah, we are very grateful for the gift of life, for our university, and indeed for this great day. We pray that you bless all members of Kyambogo University, guide, lead, and direct them to the best when executing their duties and obligations. Bless this congregation. Grant all graduates, those present and the remote, strength, remove all their difficulties, and ease all their tasks. Keep them safe from all calamities. Bestow upon them success and elevate their status. Give our parents good health and bless their plans and means of earnings. Help them overcome the challenges of life. O Allah, on this great day, grant us a share from your mercy which is wide. Guide us towards your shining proofs. Lead us to your all-encompassing pleasure. By your love, O Allah, the hope of all. O Allah, the sustainer of mankind, remove the illness from us and cure the disease. You are the one who cures. There is no cure except your cure. Grant us a cure that leaves no illness. We ask you to feed us, to clothe us, and to grant us security and stability in our country. Oh Allah, accept our prayer. Amen.
Thank you very much, the Imam. Mr. Chancellor, sir, please permit me to request the Vice Chancellor to invite you to constitute the third session of the 17th congregation of the university.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I constitute this assembly into the third session of the 17th congregation of Kyambogo University.
Oh, thank you very much. We are now constituted, and you can now sit. And while you sit, we shall request the Vice Chancellor to address the congregation.
The Chancellor, Kyambogo University, Professor J.P. Sebufu, the Chairperson of Kyambogo University Council, and all members of Council who have graced this occasion, my colleagues, the Vice Chancellors of sister universities, members of top management, members of Senate, the deans of faculties and schools, the heads of departments, the teaching and non-teaching staff of Kyambogo University, the parents and guardians, the graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chancellor, sir, I wish to welcome you to the third session of the 17th graduation ceremony. And thank you for sparing the 3 days to be with us as you preside over the ceremony. I wish to welcome the Chair of Council, the Vice Chair of Council, and all members of Council, the Deputy Vice Chancellors and other members of top management, the Deans of faculties, heads of departments, parents, guardians and graduates, and all invited guests to this ceremony, which started on Tuesday, 21st September, and will end today, the 23rd of September. As you will notice, this has been virtual, and most people are connecting with us through NTV and other media platforms. However, attending physically are some members of council, some members of top management, representatives of the students selected from the best performing students in each faculty, representatives of students with disabilities, and those graduating with postgraduate diplomas, masters, and doctorates. And this was done to keep observance of the SOPs as provided by the Ministry of Health to minimize the spread of COVID-19. Mr. Chancellor, sir, during these 3 days graduation ceremony, we shall have presented to you a total of 9,521 graduates, of whom 5,074 are males and 4,447 are females, for the award of certificates, diplomas, bachelor's, master's degrees, and PhDs. Of these, 251 students obtained first-class degrees in various bachelor's programs they were pursuing. Just to inform you that the overall best performing student is Mr. Ruma Daniel Henry, Bachelor of Science, Human Nutrition and Dietetics, who scored a CGPA of 4.93 out of 5. And the overall best performing female student is Miss Nawasinga Joan Mirembe, Bachelor of Information Technology and Computing, who scored a CGPA of 4.86 out of 5. The best performing student in the humanities, you realize that the two best performing students are in the sciences, and the best performing student in the humanities is Kutesa Deborah, Miss, Bachelor of Interior and Landscape Design, who scored a CGPA of 4.83 out of 5. I'm reliably informed that the two best performing students are here with us today, and we shall give an opportunity to the convocation after my remarks to recognize them. Mr. Chancellor, sir, among the students who are graduating today, we have 321 who are funded under the government's loan scheme. This scheme was launched here in Kyambogo in 2014 by His Excellency the President, and since then, over 1,500 students have graduated from this university. And we want to thank the government for their commitment to increasing equitable access to higher education. Sir Chancellor, sir, allow me to give special thanks to our Chair of Council, Dr. Gorit Nakabugo, the Vice Chair, Council Sarah Rega, and all other members of Council who have graced this occasion over the last 3 days for their continuous guidance to top management to make sure that we continue on course and working on policies that have created a peaceful atmosphere on campus, which has ensured that teaching and learning and research take place without major disruptions. The same council members have also appointed very many members of staff to various positions and promoted many to senior positions, which has created calmness among the academic staff. They now appreciate that if you work hard and you publish and you have the necessary requirements, you will surely get the promotion. You don't have to know anybody in administration or in council for you to get promoted. I thank my colleagues, the DVCs, both Professor Maria Musoke, DVC-AA, and Professor Nabugomu, DVC F&A, for their cooperation and teamwork, and also other members of top management for being available to respond to the needs of staff whenever need arises. I want to thank in a special way the deans of faculties, because they're the gatekeepers of academia. They link with management. And I want to thank you, together with your heads of departments and members of teaching and non-teaching staff, for their work to ensure that we graduate these students today. Without your input and dedication, this would not have been possible. Allow me also to thank our partners, the Private Sector Foundation, the owners and operators of faculties and industries, schools and district councils, and other government departments that take in our students for internship. We appreciate their role in contributing to skilling our young people. Thank you, parents, for entrusting the future of your children to us. And here they receive knowledge and skills to set them up in the world of work. And I'm glad to say that Kyambogo University graduates have been found preferable when it comes to employment in many sectors of the economy. Mr. Chancellor, sir, over the last 2 years, which have been hard years because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the university has registered some successes. In the area of teaching and learning, we are compelled to resort to online technologies to remain in contact with our students. This called for investment in the installation of required ICT infrastructure and demonstration centers to train our staff in the use of online applications so that we can continue engaging our students online. In December 2020, the National Council for Higher Education approved Kyambogo University to use Odell mode of teaching, that's open distance and e-learning, and we have been using that since that time. However, there are some challenges with access of our students. Some can access online materials, some may not do so because of lack of gadgets and because of lack of data, which is quite expensive. But we continue to discuss with our colleagues that there is no way out. This online teaching is going to be the way forward, with or without COVID. I therefore call upon all parents and guardians to provide data for internet and gadgets like smartphones, basic laptops, and iPads to enable the students access online materials. And I want to really applaud the members of staff who have gone out of their way to improvise, find means of keeping in touch with our students. This has worked very well for classes which are small, but we have problems with the large classes of over 1,000 students. Keeping in touch with all of them has proved to be problematic, but we must continue improving as we go along. I want to thank members of staff who have continued to develop new programs. And as I have always encouraged members of staff with PhDs, that they should not be going to look for teaching hours on certificates and diplomas, but they should be developing master's and doctorate programs. And I'm glad to say that this message has now been accepted. And we have a number of programs which have been approved, like the PhD in Public Policy and Governance, the PhD in Special Needs Education, the Master of Arts in Public Administration and Resource Governance, Master of Arts in Security and Diplomatic Studies, Master of Arts in Economics, among many master students that have been approved by the National Council for Higher Education. The university continues to engage in research, and we have many members of staff doing research, engaging many partners, and publishing. And as a result of their research work, many of them have been promoted to the ranks of professor, associate professor, and senior lecturers on the basis of their publications. And because of the aggressive staff development policy that Kyambogo University has, many members of staff have graduated with PhDs. And I'm glad to say that currently, when I was doing the assessment, I discovered that 195 members of teaching staff out of the current 404 have attained PhDs in various fields. And this is a good achievement and sets us on a stage to promote research in this university. The university has also come up with a graduate fellow scheme. This is a scheme where we recruit the best students with first class, second class uppers, and we train them, we mentor them, and we continue engaging them with the hope that we are going to develop these graduate fellows into professors. So it is a way of growing our own professors, because there is no institution that will let go of their professors when they have them. So as a university, we needed to be innovative and start a scheme where we grow our own university, our own professors from the very best students. And this is being done in many other universities in Europe. So the first cohort of the 43 graduate fellows who were recruited in 2018 and have completed their master's degrees have now been employed as assistant lecturers in various departments. And we await another round of recruitment when we identify the very best students and keep them. And I'm glad that these are very bright students. They have finished their masters on time, and some of them have already engaged in PhD programs, which is really commendable. The university also came up with a competitive research scheme. This was to engage our students, our members of staff, in meaningful research. And the Council approved money to the tune of over 1 billion shillings per year to be competed for by members of staff. And I'm glad to say that many members of staff are now engaged in research. But we encourage them to do meaningful research that is going to have interesting findings and disseminate these findings in the community and avoid the habit of plagiarism. That's the easy way to go and copy a research project from one university and bring it here and hope that it will be funded. But you are doing a disservice to yourself when you start doing that. We thank the government of Uganda for creating a research fund. We have been urging government to come up with a national research fund. Now some money has been put aside, to the tune of about 5 billion in the former Ministry of Science and Technology. Now I don't know what is going to happen to this money since the ministry is no longer there. But we shall await guidance from government on how researchers from various universities can access this money. And this will definitely provide an opportunity for government to direct funds to research which is relevant to our own socio-economic development. It is true that there is no developed country that will give you money to do research for your own interest. So as a country, we need to fund our own research. And there are some examples which are coming forward, like COVIDX, discovery of COVIDX, and that is research which has been done here. And I think COVIDX is causing some major changes in the way COVID-19 is controlled. So in order to protect our research findings, I want to call upon government to support universities to develop stronger and clear intellectual property policies to protect the innovations developed in universities. If this is not done, these innovations will be stolen from the institutions by others claiming to have been part of the innovation process. Because stealing innovations is a common thing all over the world. If researchers commonly do this, they plagiarize innovations and claim as theirs. So we want to protect this by having clear intellectual property management policies. And such is likely to happen in medical, pharmaceutical, and ICT research. And if it does, it demoralizes the researchers in universities. Mr. Chancellor, sir, the university has developed a new structure. This structure was developed in partnership with the Ministry of Public Service, because the old structure was no longer serving the interests of the now expanded university. So there have been some changes, like an expansion of the university from the 6 faculties and schools to 12 faculties and schools, and increasing departments from 38 to 49 departments. In addition to creation of the Institute of Distance Learning, e-learning, and learning centers. The creation of this institute was essential to guide the university in the direction we need to go in the area of distance learning, e-learning, and also take care of the learning centers that the university has come up with. The structure has also created some new administrative structures which are going to be filled as we go along. And this expansion will require an increase in teaching staff from the current establishment of 1,281 to 1,772, which is an increase of 491 staff, and a corresponding decrease in non-teaching staff from 851 to 792, a decrease of 59. It was thought that you needed fewer non-teaching staff to support the many teaching staff. And that's the cause of the decrease in the number of the non-teaching staff. And this structure will cost about 62.7 billion over 5 years to implement. We have already started implementing the new structure, and government directed that we start with those activities that are budget neutral, i.e. they don't need money because of the, I think, financial constraints the government is going through. It is our conviction, Mr. Chancellor, sir, that this new structure will create many opportunities for growth, efficiency, and effectiveness in the business processes of the university. And we shall continue to engage government to ensure that they support us to be able to implement this structure. The university developed a number of policies and guidelines to foster good governance, and also continued building the capacity of its human resources through staff development programs. A number of staff have been promoted or have been supported to undertake studies leading to their PhDs in different fields. And since the last graduation, many members of staff have graduated with PhDs, and I want to congratulate them. Regarding physical infrastructure, the university has changed greatly. We have come up with new buildings, especially under HEST project. These include the Central Teaching Facility, the Technical Teacher Education Complex, the Virtual Library, the Multipurpose Science Complex, the Engineering Complex, Architecture Complex, and all these are new buildings. And in addition, old workshops and laboratories have been renovated and equipped with the state-of-the-art equipment. This is a very big addition to the university. In addition, the university is in the final stages of constructing a central lecture block, which will cost the university about 15.8 billion once it's completed. It will provide teaching space, it will provide computer labs, provide conference facilities, and rooms for small meetings. You must have also noticed that our road network has improved. A number of roads have been worked on, some by our students of engineering and some through procurement processes. And these roads have been fitted with solar lights, which has transformed the whole university, as it were. And in addition, we are working on a sports ground where we're sitting now, and we hope to transform it into an enviable facility of world class. For people who like walking, I'm sure they will find it very convenient to walk around here a number of times, and by the time you finish, you should have cut off a few kilos. In the area of ICT development, the university continues to be the leader in ICT solutions development. The university has increased the university-wide infrastructure and connectivity. We have enhanced the use of ICT into university processes, service delivery and image improvements, and this has enhanced administration and management of academic processes as well as financial management. The university has promoted ICT research and innovations. We have enhanced institutional online visibility through the website and facilitating e-library services and digitalizing Kyambogo University research output online. In addition, strengthening ICT policy, legal, and regulatory frameworks. Regarding strategic marketing, the university continues to engage in many partnerships with many universities, both national and international. And also very strong working partnerships with the Uganda Manufacturers Association, the private sector foundation, and those organizations that take in our students. These partnerships continue to promote the university through joint research, joint publications, and joint engagements with many, many universities abroad. Mr. Chancellor, sir, today we are graduating students from the Faculty of Education, the Faculty of Science, and the Faculty of Engineering. Mr. Chancellor, sir, if you remember the words of the President on the first day, he said the university must focus on science, engineering, and education. And the advice of the President is not mere advice, it's a directive. And the University Senate will sit to see how his ideas can be brought on board. In the Faculty of Education, the faculty is graduating its first pioneer PhD students, and we want to congratulate the faculty for that achievement. These two PhD students are Dr. Sarah Kisa and Dr. June Patrick Vigirwa, who are graduating with a PhD in education. And Mr. Chancellor, also, if you remember the speech by the First Lady, she was saying that you know the strength of the university by the number of PhD graduates they are pushing out every year. And I think we have started on a good note, and we are going to continually move, and I want to urge deans to take this one as a challenge which we should respond to. In the area of research and innovation and knowledge generation, the Department of Early Childhood Education won a 2.5-year grant worth $1.2 million Canadian dollars from International Development Research Center. And they're working on a project which is inclusive home-based early learning project, increasing access to quality and equitable early child care and education. And this research is being done in collaboration with Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kenya and the University of Zimbabwe, in Zimbabwe, of course. The faculty has also established partnerships with Sense International, a leading global charity supporting people with deaf blindness, for the purpose of implementing the IDRC research. The faculty is also partnering with AfriChild to train staff in child-focused research in collaboration with 6 other institutions: Makerere University, Uganda Matters University, Uganda Christian University, Gulu University, Muni University, and the Samizi Training Institute. The faculty is also involved in a project called Unlocking the Potential for Enhancing Teaching and Learning of Students with Visual Impairment in Uganda's public universities, looking at the role of assistive technologies. And this is funded under Research and Innovation Fund, supported by the government of Uganda. Regarding institutional development, 3 members of staff attained PhDs in education in 2021. These are Dr. Godfrey Bagonza, Dr. Wilberforce Okongo, Dr. Joseph Wothumio, and they have been added to the pool of PhD holders in the faculty. Also to note, Mr. Chancellor said that 1 member of staff in the Department of Educational Planning and Management was promoted to a position of associate professor after assessing his teaching, research, and publications. And this member of staff is Dr. George Wilson Kasule from the Department of Educational Planning and Management. We congratulate George Wilson Kasule. The Faculty of Science has been very active in research and collaborations, and Dr. Gafuma Samuel received a grant under the Competitive Research Scheme of Kyambogo University. Professor Ugok received a grant from the Belgian Directorate General for Development Cooperation and Humanitarian Aid. Dr. Nachisinge received a grant with Canadian dollars 50,000 to undertake a study titled Understanding the Impact of Selected Processing Variables on the Quality of Naturally Processed Arabic Coffee. And she also, in partnership with the University of Applied Sciences, Upper Austria, University of Namibia, and Debre Tabo University in Ethiopia, received a grant from Africa Uninet to undertake a study titled Indigenous Fruit and Nut Trees as Market Opportunities for Small-Scale Farmers in Namibia, Ethiopia, and Uganda. Dr. Sanyu Grace was awarded funds under the Competitive Research Grant of Kyambogo University and is working on heavy metal hazards, especially in wetland fish species. You know, we need to understand what we are eating in our fish. If we don't do that, we are likely to get heavy metals and get poisoning. She's also involved in a collaborative project between 3 countries, Austria, Uganda, Kenya, and Africa Unit Research Corporation, working on strengthening community-based research for river health and climate change mitigation in East Africa. Another member of staff, Dr. KYAMBOGO from Science, is collaborating with the University of Namibia and Danube University Krems, and they wrote a project which is going to be funded under the Phosphorus Negotiation Game SDGs in Action, how to address the Sustainable Development Goals. We have a member of staff, Dr. Massa Justus, who received a grant from the European Union for a project aimed at using solar energy to convert water and carbon dioxide into fuels and chemicals. The project has a total of 14 consortium partners, 13 from Europe, and Kyambogo University is the only non-European partner. Mr. Chancellor, sir, I'm sure you'll be interested in this project since you come from chemistry to look at how to convert water and carbon dioxide into fuels and chemicals. Also in the Department of Science, one of the members of staff from the Department of Food Science and Technology was promoted to a position of Associate Professor in recognition of his teaching, research, and publications in food science. And that member of staff is Dr. Edrisa Mugampoza. So we congratulate him also for being promoted to that level. So Mr. Chancellor, sir, you can see we are making progress in building our own professors. The Faculty of Engineering has established a memorandum of understanding with Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science in India, and that partnership will be supporting teaching and learning and research. The faculty also is in collaboration with University West in Sweden, and they have a grant for internationalization to work with the Faculty of Engineering and 2 other African partner universities, Dedan Kimathi University of Technology in Kenya and University of Bua in Cameroon. And this internationalization project is intended to initiate collaboration between the partner universities. The faculty has also completed a project successfully, which is the Higher Education Partnership for Sub-Saharan Africa, which was funded by the Royal Academy of Engineers in collaboration with Makerere University, College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology, Bustema University, Ndeje University, and Bara University. The objective of this project was to improve the quality of engineering training in the participating universities so as to produce skilled engineering graduates. I think this is timely, especially when we realize how many buildings in Kampala are collapsing due to some shoddy engineering work. So when you have qualified engineers, you can rest assured that our buildings will not collapse. In addition, the faculty has initiated a student mentorship program to support students to progress well with their studies and develop professional skills during the course of their training at the university. The faculty has also been involved in applying for research, especially through the Kyambogo University Competitive Research Grants, and 3 members of staff, Dr. Chakura Michael, Dr. Anne Nakagiri, and Dr. Nyutha Charles, got funded, and they are doing research in their various fields. So I want to congratulate members of staff and really applaud them. Those who are engaged in active research with many national and international partners to conduct research and exchange students. And this is the only way to go if you are in academia. The president told us the other day that we should not have this feeling of arrivism. When you get to a position, you say, I have arrived, and you go to sleep. So we should continue working and promoting ourselves and promoting the university. The graduates, I want to congratulate you, all of you, for working hard and for staying the course up to this time when you attain these qualifications. I'm confident that you have made good networks in addition to acquiring knowledge and skills during your stay at the university. So I want to encourage you to avoid many temptations and challenges in the world and try and keep alive, because parents have invested heavily in you, and please don't cut your life short by reckless lifestyles. And be proud always of having gone through Kyambogo University and serve your country wherever you may find yourself. The parents and guardians, thank you for sponsoring your students and investing in them. Parents deny themselves lots of pleasures in life to make sure that their children can go to school. We don't take that for granted. We want to thank you, parents. I want to thank in a special way the members of staff of Kyambogo University, of the Ceremonies Committee, which is headed by Dr. Aaron Rones, and also Engineer Ambrose Agija, who has been here for the last 3 days to make sure that things work properly. The members of the different committees of ceremonies, the academic registrar and the department of the academic registrar, and everybody who has made a contribution to the success of this occasion. Our media partners, NTV, and people managing different media outlets, I want to thank you very much. We have come to the end of this function. The starting was a bit bumpy, and many people believed that it would not take place, but it has taken place, and we thank God and all people involved in securing it. Our security people, agents here and around, we want to applaud you. So lastly, I want to thank the government of Uganda for continuing to support the university in various ways. And I thank the President for his personal vision to transform this country through science and technology, and hence his personal drive to promote those areas of our economy. We must also give tribute to the President for his timely intervention and wise decisions taken to save the lives of many Ugandans, which would have been lost to the COVID-19 pandemic. His decisions sometimes were not palatable because every sector has got their own interests and they could not be catered at the same time. But the overall result is that the number of people dying from COVID is low compared to other countries, and we give him the credit for that. As you might have heard from his address yesterday, the President permitted institutions of higher learning to reopen with effect from 1st November 2021, on condition that staff and students get vaccinated. I therefore wish to call upon all staff and continuing students of Kyambogo University to get vaccinated from wherever they are as we prepare to reopen. Senate will convene very soon to discuss modalities of reopening, but in the meantime, we must heed science and shun negative propaganda aimed at rejection of the vaccines against COVID-19 virus. Well, this virus is here, it kills, and even those who are saying it doesn't exist have lost their lives, or have lost their loved ones. So let us heed science and get vaccinated. When you get vaccinated, you don't die, or you don't get very severe disease effects. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for coming to this last day of our 17th graduation. And I want to ask God to bless you richly and give you journey mercies when you come the time to go home. So I want to thank you very much for listening to me, knowledge and skills for service, and I say all this for God and my country. Thank you. At this point, I had mentioned that the convocation wants to recognize the best performing students. Because to become the best student in the university is not a mean achievement. And I think we need to see these students and share in their pride. So may I invite the chair of convocation to come here and make their presentation to the best performing students. Thank you.
To all graduates, our Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Chairperson Council members present, Senate members, parents, I salute you all, invited guests. This is the first of its kind. I have one word to the graduates before I go ahead. The two people and all graduates of this year 17th graduation ceremony. The best way to fit in the society is doing exactly what others are doing, but in a different way. You are not going to start anything new, but be innovative to fit in the society, having things that are known to others. Be resilient. Don't forget Kyambogo. Come back. And I think I'll be presenting a paper to Senate such that there can be a better way to recognize different excelling students every year, such that we keep in touch also, even after, to join us. Convocation is a body that is willing to receive you. Thank you so much. Now I want to take the honor as our Vice Chancellor, Professor Eric Shaya Katunka, said that we offer to the best two. Kenneth Mbogo is my name, Chairperson, Convocation. Can I kindly have Mr. Ruma Daniel Henry come for your present? This is what we have for you, because this is the beginning of its kind. This is Roma Daniel Henry, the best student in the university with a CGPA 4.9 out of 5. And I think this is excellent performance. I present this to you. And I think after, we shall request you also to come and take a photo with the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor, just in between. Thank you. Okay. No one. And as we wait for this to go on, I also want to invite Miss Nabasinga Joan Mirembe, the best female student who has been pursuing a bachelor's in ICT. She scored 4.86 out of 5. We urge all alumni to come back, return home. Thank you so much. In the same way, protocol observed, go and take a picture with the University Chancellor. We encourage all alumni returning home. Let us do our best, but the convocation is waiting for you. Make sure you register with us. To our students who are continuing, use this chance to understand us better. Every time you think of giving up, remember why you started. I know the pandemic has affected some of you, and you think giving up is a choice. Please don't. Every time you think of giving up, also think about why you started. Thank you so much, Vice Chancellor, for this honor. Thank you so much, MC.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair of Convocation. It's always an honor to see such young people excel. And I want to encourage you young people, don't stop here. Continue aspiring for great achievements. Now, please allow me to invite the Chair of Council, Dr. Gorit Nakabogo, to address us. Chair of Council.
Think upon your goodness and your faithfulness each day.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor, for the very rich, as usual, speech, and for the innovation in recognizing our excelling students. Mr. Chancellor, sir, again, kindly permit me to remove my mask for audibility, but also the mic has been sanitized. Mr. Chancellor, sir, religious leaders, members of council present here today, Vice Chancellor, Kyambogo University, Deputy Vice Chancellors, teaching and non-teaching staff of Kyambogo University, the parents and guardians of our dear graduates, the graduates, those who are here and those who are observing the event online, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Kyambogo University Council, and at this particular moment, let me recognize the members of Council who have graced this event. Here we have Senior Counsel Sarah Babidi Rubega, the Vice Chair of Kyambogo University Council. We have our midst Dr. Mary Basasa Muhenda, who is also the Chairperson of Appointments Board of Kyambogo University. We have Mr. Kenneth Mbogo, the Chairperson of Convocation and a member of Council. We have Reverend Dr. Grace Lubale. We have Mr. Jackson Bethama joining us today. We have Mr. Francis Nsamba, member of Council. We have Dr. Catherine Wandela. We have our dear Vice Chancellor, Professor Eli Katunguka Ratshire. We have Professor Maria Musoke, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs. And lastly, but not least, we have our Mr. Charles Okello, the University Secretary, but also Secretary to Council. So on behalf of those members of Council here today and those who are connecting to this event online, I wish to welcome all invited guests, parents, and graduates to the 17th graduation ceremony. This is the end of a 3-day event. This 17th graduation ceremony started on Tuesday, the 21st September, 2021, and is ending today, Thursday, the 23rd September, 2021. During the first 2 days, a number of graduates were conferred upon their degrees and diplomas in various disciplines. I thank God for having enabled us to complete the 2 days successfully. Like the Vice Chancellor noted, I mean, this is, we all know this is not a normal environment, but this was even a much more unique graduation. The management really overcame, against all odds, we have successfully held this graduation, and we thank the Almighty God for that. Today is our last day of the 17th graduation ceremony, where the last group of graduates will be awarded their degrees, diplomas, and certificates. I congratulate the parents, guardians, and the graduates for successfully completing their studies. Graduates, you are now ready to join the world of work and contribute to the well-being of your families and to national development. Like the chair of convocation has said, what makes a difference between any one employee is creativity and innovativeness. Mr. Chancellor, sir, allow me once again to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and the First Lady and Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, who graced the first day of the 17th graduation ceremony. We are grateful for their words of wisdom and guidance that will guide management and council on the way forward as we strive to achieve our vision and mission. And especially we take note of the guidance of the President on emphasizing the issue of skills development, which has become so pertinent, especially with the challenges that have been posed by the pandemic. Mr. Chancellor, sir, the university is grateful for Honorable Minister of State for Higher Education, Honorable Jesse Muyingo, who joined us yesterday, Wednesday 22nd September to 2021, and graced the 17th graduation ceremony. I wish to reiterate that we shall continue to recognize and appreciate his guidance and love for Kyambogo University. We really recognize you, Honorable Minister of State for Higher Education. In the same way, the university is very grateful for the government's support and guidance to the leadership of academic institutions in Uganda, especially during this time when we are grappling with COVID-19 pandemic. I think all over the world, I think the most difficult docket to hold as a minister is a docket of being a minister of education. It's very challenging all over, but we thank the leadership of the Minister of Education, Mama Janet Kataham-Seven, and the state ministers and other leaders in the ministry for continuing to guide us and ensuring that every child, wherever they are, despite the challenges, enjoy the right to education. Mr. Chancellor, sir, and our invited guests, the University Council wishes to thank in a very special way the Vice Chancellor, Professor Eli Katunguka Ratshire, and the entire management for providing good and exemplary leadership to the university. This was a very, very challenging time, and I think any weak leader would not have survived such a challenging situation. But during this time, the university has managed to organize teaching and learning, held examinations, and finally organized this virtual 17th graduation, despite the very many challenges that I don't have to really overemphasize. Vice Chancellor, we are very, very delighted to be working with a very capable and decisive leader who moves things, so we thank you very much. Any round of applause? Thank you very much. So the University Council wishes to extend its gratitude to the government of Uganda once again, and to add to the voice of the Vice Chancellor for the continued support to Kyambogo University that has ensured the smooth running of the university. The university is very grateful for the financial support from government that has helped in construction and maintenance of its infrastructure, payment of staff salaries and wages, material acquisition, which has enabled us to offer quality education and to our students. I mean, studying in a beautiful complex or campus like ours, I think is an added advantage, and we are very grateful to to government for the continued support, despite the financial challenges that we are facing that have affected the entire economy. Mr. Chancellor, sir, and our invited guests, over the last years, the University Council has continued to provide strategic guidance to the university. The fifth council governing the university was constituted on the 30th October 2020 and inaugurated on 4th February 2021. Basically, this is actually our first graduation to oversee as council, so it's very historic to us. Despite the COVID-19 restrictions, the University Council has continued to work within the new normal and approved various policies and guidelines. Many of those have been highlighted by the Vice Chancellor in his speech. But among others, we approved the strategic plan for the period 2020-21 to 2024-25, and we thank management under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor who drove that process of putting in place a strategic plan that has now been approved. We also approved the annual budget for the financial year 2021-22 and the revised financial management manual to comply with national and international standards for financial management. As the supreme organ of this university, Council is committed to continue providing direction on the academic and administrative functions and ensure that the university operates efficiently and effectively for all stakeholders. Mr. Chancellor, sir, and our invited guests, I feel very honored to speak to the graduates of this 17th graduation, and I wish to congratulate all of you graduates for successfully completing your studies. You deserve a round of applause. Especially to me, this really brings back very good memories. 25 years ago, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in education. And my father here, Mr. Chancellor, sir, is here, who signed my certificate. And every time I attend a graduation where the faculty of education is graduating, it's very special to me personally, so I congratulate you in a very, very special way. But as the Vice Chancellor also noted, in a special way, we congratulate those graduating with PhDs in different fields. That also shows that, I think this is the first time as Kyambogo University we are graduating PhDs, or the second? Okay, it's the second time that we're doing it. So it shows that we are not only training, but we are also contributing to knowledge generation. So wish you the very best to the PhD graduates as you join the club that generates knowledge for the country. To you all graduates, congratulations. Completing a degree is a sacrifice, but you are also among very, very few individuals who transition from primary to secondary and then higher education. So we are very, very proud of you and look forward to your contribution. In the same way, we thank your parents and guardians who sacrificed a lot to put you where you are. Please always remember your guardians and parents. And whatever success you do, remember also to improve the well-being of your families. In the same way, I wish to thank the members of staff who have worked so hard, sometimes in very challenging situations, to ensure that they have nurtured you well to reach this day. So members of staff, we thank you very much and we celebrate you. Dear graduates, today marks an important day in your career as you receive your hard-earned degrees, diplomas, and certificates, and you are being ushered into the world of work. The university has nurtured and sharpened your skills over the years of your stay here. Council is very confident that you'll put to good use the knowledge and skills that you have acquired, and that you'll continue searching for knowledge. Learning doesn't end. And by the way, when we say that you continue learning, I mean, learning is a lifelong process. We don't mean that you go searching for more degrees and degrees and degrees. You might have even 3 degrees without adding anything to yourselves. So continued learning means that you're actually learning to better yourselves and better and enhancing what you do in society. So wish you all the very best. I wish to assure management and staff and students that the University Council is committed to continue providing a conducive environment for the advancement and promotion of knowledge and development of skills in science, technology, and education for the progress and transformation of our society, as set out in our strategic plan that we just approved recently. Like I said, I think it's just 1 year since we were inaugurated as council. And councils all over the world, and as reflected in our strategic plan, have a number of priorities that they set out to achieve. But in order to remain focused and make a visible impact on the university during the 4-year period that we have committed ourselves to 3 top priorities. And these, working very closely with management, we hope we can show something visible and measurable at the end of the 4 years. Our number 1 priority is resource mobilization to ensure that the university is sustainable. Obviously, government, this being a government institution, government will always remain the major funder of the university. But universities all over the world are actually facing financial challenges, especially the pressure that the pandemic has put on all institutions, have not spared Kyambogo University. So we hope that we can devise ways of diversifying the resources of the university to make it a very, very good place to be. Number 2 is investment in information and communication technology for improved teaching and learning, research and governance. The Vice Chancellor very, very articulately highlighted the achievements that we've made in this field. But we would want to do much more, especially now this cannot be overemphasized. ICT will continue to play a very big role, and we want to continue investing in this area as our number 2 priority. Number 3 priority is infrastructure development so that we are able to provide a conducive environment for students and staff. One might even wonder, with all these infrastructures that they've put, very beautiful roads, very beautiful teaching and learning facilities, do they want to do more? Yes, we want to do much, much more, and we hope that we can attain that. We are confident that through partnering with government and other private entrepreneurs, we can deliver on this promise. As we celebrate our students who are graduating this week, we hope that eventually the situation will be managed to ensure that all students and learners elsewhere at all levels are able to resume their studies. We look forward to officially reopening the university for face-to-face classes on the 1st of November 2021, consistent with the presidential directives of yesterday. We thank His Excellency for having relaxed the restrictions to enable the education institutions of higher learning to start planning for reopening the universities about a month from now. So we look forward to that as Kyambogo University, and as the Vice Chancellor emphasized, Council also calls upon all members of staff and students to please go and get vaccinated, to keep yourselves safe, but also to safeguard the lives of the other people that you interact with. Having opened, hopefully, and I'm sure we shall make it to reopen the university on the 1st of November, So that will enable us to reach all students, including those that have had challenges to fully participate in online classes. I mean, we say that we have worked against all odds to ensure that teaching and learning happened, but it must have been extremely challenging. I mean, with the very unstable internet connections, one can imagine that a few students may have struggled a lot and others may be left behind. But we hope that with the face-to-face interaction now that is coming very soon, that no student will be left behind. Nevertheless, we shall also continue to develop our ICT resources, like I highlighted in the top priorities of Council. We shall continue to develop our ICT resources to enable blended learning to continue, even when the university has reopened for physical classes. I know the Vice Chancellor is very, very committed to ensure that ICT actually becomes a major driver of what we do in this university. And indeed, the role of ICT is here to stay, even when the pandemic is long gone. And through our Faculty of Education, we shall continue to partner with government and other education actors to ensure continuity of learning for millions of children for whom school remains closed until next year, 2022. Mr. Chancellor, Sir, and Vice Chancellor, I think we are lucky we have, Kyambogo University has one of the very strong faculties of education with our Professor Joyce Aikolu under the leadership. They are very innovative. They do a lot, as you saw that the Vice Chancellor highlighted. But the COVID-19 pandemic poses even another demand to all education institutions wherever we are, to ask ourselves, yes, schools are closed. What can we do to ensure that those who are working at home, how can they continue to learn? If school is closed, can we take school to their homes? And I think this is something that we can also continue to, through our Faculty of Education, to contribute to. We shall also continue to play our part as a university in any way possible to contribute to ensuring that schools are ready for reopening in January 2022, in any way possible. Once again, I wish to thank you, Mr. Chancellor, Sir, and everyone in your various capacities for gracing this occasion and for listening to me. To the graduates, I congratulate you so much and wish you well in your future careers. Congratulations. I know, and I believe everyone here knows and is confident that you have all it takes to thrive in a very, very uncertain world. The world is very, very uncertain. And I think we saw this very, very visibly in our lifetime. Even with 1 or 2 or 3 degrees, the pandemic destabilized everyone. But we hope that with the skills and nurturing that you have received from this great university, that you'll thrive and make a difference to your personal lives and the lives of your families, the communities, and this country at large. I thank you once again, and I remain yours, Mary Goreti Nakabugo, the chairperson of Kyambogo University Council. Knowledge and skills for service for God and my country. Thank you. Thank you. Where did I put my... Way in the front. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry.
Think upon your goodness and your faithfulness each day. I'm convinced there's nothing
gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally. Now introducing new Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean for a naturally fresh and clean mouth.
Women in Uganda are discovering aerial superior cleaning power. Mama, we are not just neighbors, we are sisters.
She's the best in Lugambo and the best in laundry. If you see her son's clothes, always so clean and fresh.
Well, Mama's secret was aerial.
We followed Mama Junior's advice. And now, we don't have to spend hours scrubbing school uniforms. Ariel removes tough stains in one wash. Chop, chop.
And now introducing the new Aerial Color and Style to keep your kitenge looking vibrant. Get 3 sachets for only 1,000 shillings.
When they flip and roll and start to crawl away, tape diapers can be hard to put on and can come loose. Then it's time for Pampers Pants. With all-round fit, they're easy to pull on even when they're moving around. Pampers Pants absorb wetness rapidly and lock it away better for up to 12 hours of dryness. So when they start to crawl, you know it's time for Pampers Pants.
Now available in low counts at only 7,000 shillings per pack.
There is nothing that gives you joy like making the right choice. Get value for your money by choosing the right paint. With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss, and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
Answers that it is what I'm going to say is not very different, but to emphasize some of the very important points they have highlighted in their speeches, and also to add my own voice to what's happening in our institution at this time. The chairperson of Kyambogo University Council, Dr. Mary Goretti Nakabugo, the vice chairperson of Kyambogo University Council, Senior Counsel Sarah Robega, members of Kyambogo University Council, those who are here and those who may be listening to us online, the Vice Chancellor of our university, Professor Katunguka, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, and other principal officers of the university, the Vice Chancellors, Rectors, and Principals of other institutions, members of staff of Kyambogo University, distinguished guests here present, parents, guardians, and benefactors who may be listening to us or watching the proceedings online and on television, and the graduates who are here and those who are at home, but we're following these proceedings using the new technology. And as we will see later, I will talk about the new normal. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the end of the 17th graduation ceremony, which I must say has been a very colorful ceremony, despite being virtual I wish to thank first Honorable Jesse Muyingo, Minister of State for Higher Education, who yesterday presided over the second session of this ceremony. We really appreciated his happiness with the level of cleanliness of the university and other new developments like buildings and roads. We also noted his prayer. He had a prayer wishing universities, including our own here, to increase access and equity and to put emphasis on the use of ICT in the teaching and research. We also appreciated his good advice on many other things. He further thanked the University Council and management for putting to an end to what had become a perennial vice of strikes and closure of the university. He was very, very pleased with that. So, second, my hearty sincere thanks to His Excellency the President, His Excellency Yoweri Tibuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, and the university's visitor, who virtually officiated at the first session of the ceremony, and Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, the First Lady of Uganda and the Minister of Education and Sports, who also graced the occasion virtually. We appreciated their thought-provoking speeches and took note of the good advice contained therein. In the same vein, I welcome our graduates who are the reason we are assembled here today. Their parents, guardians, and benefactors who may be watching the proceedings online or on television, as well as the honorable ministers and distinguished guests. Thank you for joining us. May the Almighty God bless each of you and make this day a reminder of everything we should be grateful for. Sometimes we forget to thank the Lord for all the good things He has done for us, and we just lament the negative ones. But there is a lot the good Lord is doing. He has never stopped the supply of oxygen in the air, so it is, why should we complain? And without oxygen, as a chemist, I know the sugar in the cells cannot be burnt into energy, water, and carbon dioxide. Ladies and gentlemen, today Kyambogo University is holding its 17th graduation virtually with a very limited physical presence here at the main campus, as you already observed. This is the first virtual graduation ceremony that Kyambogo University is having due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has disrupted most of the normal activities of the university. Allow me to thank His Excellency the President and his COVID-19 task force for their tireless efforts to manage the pandemic and to ensure that as many of us still remain safe, and as he said yesterday, dead people don't work, dead people don't do business, dead people don't go to bars, and so on. So let's make sure that we put up with these inconveniences despite the hardships they cause to us. This graduation ceremony is a milestone in itself, which we attribute to the good leadership, commitment, and cooperation among the university staff at all levels, because without you cooperating with the management, without management cooperating with the council, and so on. Things grind to halt. And all of you at all levels who have worked hard, moreover, during this very difficult period, so we can be here today. I pay special tribute to the Vice Chancellor and his team for, he's a shy man, he doesn't want to mention this, but let's call a spade for the monumental achievements. We have had them. Some of us were here when I was posted here as principal of the then Institute of Teacher Education, Kyambogo ITEC, in 1990. I couldn't believe that I'm living in Makerere much as it was also in shambles, and coming to an institution like this. But we strived with very little resources, and tried to put things where we could on the right path. But for me, see, cleanliness is something I take seriously. I hate dirty things, dirty people, and much as I may not have much to offer in the way of beauty, I like beautiful things. I want to say you to. I wish I'd come with my wife here. You would be surprised. So there was no water, running water. The taps had dried up long time ago, and we were forced to buy a Bowser. Our tractor, instead of doing work on the farm, was always busy shuttling between here and Lugogo to fetch water, until I said, for God's sake, enough is enough. And I had a very good old Kenyan technician here called Nyamungu. I was wondering how I could put the things right in terms of water supply. And he came to me and said, Bwana, I can help you. And I said, sure. And he said, you give me the materials, I'll show you. So I asked the council. Reluctantly, they allowed me to use some resources. And we bought, put up a new water reticulation system. And we had to get also water from Ntinda Matters Way. And during the process, we didn't know that the pipe was passing through somebody's plot. And before I knew it, there was somebody knocking at the principal's door. Sir, I'm taking you to court. And I said, yeah, you have trespassed on my property. Who told you to put a pipe through my property? And I said, no, because he got permission from the National Water and Sewage Corporation. But somehow, the man wanted to take us to court, but we managed to persuade him. We didn't pump grease, but we persuaded him to drop the idea. So that one was, and before we know it, we had water running again. The toilets that had the waterborne toilets that had stopped working were working again. And they invited the then Minister of Education, I think sports came in a little bit later, or add a little bit later, Honorable Amanya Mushiga, to come and commission the system. And he too was amazed. So I want to thank them for these monumental achievements, including the increase in the number of staff with a PhD degree to over 190 and counting, which he has highlighted in his wonderful speech. All this has been achieved as a result of hard work and indeed brain power at its best. Let's say it loud and clear. People think, sit down, think, and plan, and then things don't happen by accident, unfortunately. You have to sit, plan, and mobilize resources for. This is a commendable performance deserving a bit of applause from us all. I'm pleased to note that in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic, our university has continued to forge collaboration with the national, international institutions and partners in its quest to develop new technologies and knowledge in the various disciplines through acquisition of new ideas and new ways of doing things. This is a heritage development that allows Kyambogo University to benchmark with other institutions for best practice if it's to remain vibrant and up to date. And I thank the Vice Chancellor and team for putting the university on a proper academic course. He's a real serious academician, so he knows how important it is to make sure that the university is as research-based as possible. I'm also reliably informed that the university has also strengthened the capacity of its staff to carry out high-level, I repeat, high-level research. Because some of us have seen, when I was at Makerere, I really used to laugh at some of the research proposals, and the people say, maybe it made sense to them, but to me it didn't. Determinants of beer drinking in Uganda. So things like that. And I said, what is this? But that's why I emphasize high level. It's not, don't engage in trivial and meaningless research. And by the way, the Vice Chancellor has emphasized that you should never plagiarize other people's work. It is very, very bad and very, very, it reflects negatively on you. Without taking too much time, I remember, I will not mention the name, but there was a very famous civil rights fighter in USA. He had a doctorate from Boston College or Boston University, I forget. Yeah, I think it's Boston College. And as you know, the basis of a PhD is the thesis of the research you've carried out. And when he died, under very tragic circumstances, his wife enthusiastically donated his thesis to one of the top universities in America. Again, I will not reveal the name of the university. And because I think there was this feeling that who is this stupid black man who's been disorganizing us? Let's look at his thesis. So they subjected it to a system that detects plagiarism. And in this, a good part of the thesis had been plagiarized from another thesis. It was terrible, but there you are. So don't heed the wording that you should stick to. Yes, you do literature search, and of course you acknowledge the source, the reference, and so on. That's perfectly normal, but not to lift other people's work and pass them as your own. I think this capacity to innovate, to do research, and to generate new knowledge, His Excellency the President witnessed some of these renovations during the science exhibition held during the 16th graduation in December 2019. I know you've been teaching, and as you've heard, you're now teaching using new methodologies, the Odell. I know some of you may be uncomfortable with this new technology, but you have a choice. You either, as they say in, there was this adage that publish or perish. So adjust to learn to the new mode of curriculum delivery, or forget about being a member of staff of a university. Please make every effort to keep yourself up to date in that area, much as you may find it a bit difficult. I'm told the university is committed to do even more in research and innovation for the scientific and technological advancement of our country. The President has been emphasizing this. All countries that have developed as a result of science and technology. The Fords, Rockefellers, and the Firestones of USA didn't become filthy rich and didn't contribute to the development of USA by any other means except science and technology. Thomas Edison and so on. I will not go into the details of how they changed even the world. So that's not very, this is very important. That means we are not belittling the other disciplines. I really love the arts, that for development, let's give a little bit of emphasis to this, to science and technology. Well, thank you, Your Excellency, for this. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to register my sincere thanks to the government of Uganda through Mother Ministry of Education and Sports for taking special interest in supporting public universities. They have done their best, and in particular, Kyambogo University. And as you've heard, they have also set up a competitive research fund, which our researchers can access. And as you've heard, and as you can see around you, through the African Development Bank, Higher Education, Science and Technology project, the university was able to construct new buildings. I was pleasantly surprised when I discovered that what used to be Nyerere Hall gave way to an event, this new and wonderful structure for the faculty of management and entrepreneurship. And as I've also been told that besides the new buildings, even the old ones, not all, but some of the old ones, the existing ones, were renovated. The new laboratory work and the new laboratories and workshops were equipped with state-of-the-art equipment and machinery, which are critically important in quality teaching and research. As we all know, we cannot produce hands-on graduates without good equipment, good equipment and tools. It's next to impossible. It's like asking somebody to go and dig without a hoe or what any other implement you need for hoeing. In the same token, allow me to extend my appreciation to the 4th University Council, which was headed by my good friend, Professor Johnny Okedi, for their good work and for all the excellent contributions which went a long way to stabilize the university. This allowed the university to run smoothly with minimal disruptions, if any. And I warmly welcome members of the new and the 5th Council under the stewardship of my other very good friend, Dr. Marigoreti Nakabogo, who is here, and her colleagues, the deputy senior council, Sarah Vega. I congratulate you, the new members of council, on your appointment, and some of you, the appointment. And I also thank you for your continued guidance and support to management as they strive to ensure the university realizes its mission and vision. The setting up of a competitive research fund out of the university's own resources is noted and appreciated. It is now up to the academic staff to apply for research funds through good proposals. At the risk of taking a little bit more time, this reminds me of another university where I was. I will not mention the name. There was a perennial song that, oh, we cannot do research because we don't have funds. So the Vice Chancellor went out of his way and found funds. So he said, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, now we have funds. Can you apply for them to do research? And everybody recoiled. So it's not, but this is a good proposal. So you're a good initiative. So it is up to you members of staff to apply for research funds through good proposals. And to all members of Senate and top management and staff under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Katunguka, I sincerely thank you for your efforts and hard work in developing the university. You have wisely used the available resources and structures to improve service delivery in spite of the occasional differences and challenges which are always there in a normal higher education institution. Remember, the higher education institution like university, the people there are supposed to be highly intelligent. Some of them say, who are these people? I can do their job better than them. So these are things we put up with, but as long as they don't get degenerate into other ugly things. No doubt it's your commitment to duty that has led to the realization of this first ever virtual graduation ceremony, as I said earlier. I commend you for the excellent teamwork and urge you to keep it up as we strive to take Kyambogo to greater heights, as the chairperson of council pointed out. I congratulate all members of staff who attained PhD and master's degrees, and I know 3 of them are graduating today. During the, so these members of staff attained these degrees during the period under review, the current. So I want to also point out, as I've already done, probably, that the acquisition of a PhD degree makes you a research leader. So you become a research leader, and you must start supervising others so that they can also attain their PhDs. The more students you supervise, the more papers you can get right, and of course, the more recognition you receive. If you don't, then you can't progress. Therefore, those of you who have received your PhDs, a lot is expected from you in terms of research outputs. I further congratulate all academic staff who were promoted to the ranks of senior lecturer, associate, and full professor during the same period. While I thank you for the hard work that has earned you these promotions, let me hasten to add that you too are part of the university's research leaders. It is not yet time, it is not time, and it will never be available, perhaps until you cease to be part of the academia, to sit back, relax, and forget all about research. So you say, I've already achieved the topmost rank. No. Needless to say, good teaching goes hand in hand with quality research. So you cannot be a good lecturer if you don't engage in some form of research. Now to the graduates, and I'm slowly coming to the end. I extend hearty congratulations to you on reaching this milestone and arriving at this long-awaited day, which I'm sure you have been anxiously looking forward to for a long time. I'm pleased to learn that you have been able to adjust to the new normal, which I mentioned earlier, as a new way of living with the inconvenience of coping with the precautionary measures the government has put in place to control the transmission and spread of the COVID-19 causing virus. So we could get on with our lives, go about with our work, and to some extent be able to socialize with our fellow human beings. We are aware that you were supposed to graduate in December 2020, but due to the disruptions and lockdowns brought about by COVID-19 pandemic, you had to wait till now. I thank you for the patience and understanding. These were circumstances beyond our control. The completion of your degrees is indeed a very important achievement to you and all those who supported you and contributed to your education. I thank you for staying the course all the way from kindergarten, or now sometimes called the preschool, to the university. Many you started with you started school with fell by the wayside. And as the chairperson of council has pointed out, by the time you get to university, it's only a tiny percentage of those who started school at the same time. So, consider yourself not as privileged, but as the people who have stayed the course. Come no matter what you come what may, you said I have a goal and I must achieve that goal in life. And as you exit the gates of your alma mater, Kyambogo University, to join the world of work, I wish you on behalf of the university success and the very best in all future endeavors. Be good ambassadors for your university. This has been emphasized over and over. And as Honorable Dr. Jesse Muyinga advised, go and use the knowledge and skills you have acquired here to serve your community and the country. However, allow me to remind you that, as you've heard from some of the previous speakers, that learning has not ended here. It is a continuous process. Be lifelong learners, because as you probably know, there are many benefits to being a lifelong learner. And as the world continues to discover and invent new things and new ways of doing things through innovation and technological advances, it is critically important that you keep upgrading yourselves through acquisition of new knowledge and skills, not necessarily by acquiring more and more degrees, as the chairperson of council has said, but you can upgrade yourself through other ways. I implore you to put your degrees to good use. Don't use your smartphones. The brain that goes into making those gadgets is high level. So you just use your smartphones for WhatsApp chat and whatever, Facebook. Oh yeah, that's okay. But also use them for other good things, the acquisition of new knowledge. People are no longer interested in reading. I don't know why, but I find that very strange, because even at my age, I still enjoy reading and reading new things. What to other people you say? And so you become very, very narrow-minded, and I don't know what. No, let me not go there. I therefore implore you to put your degrees to good use, and do not ever allow yourselves to degenerate into the mentality that acquiring a degree here means you have arrived, as you've heard, and the president has been emphasizing that. The university is grappling with how to internalize that and understand the implications. In a special way, I congratulate all graduates who are graduating with first-class honors degrees. Thank you for this excellent performance and the extremely hard work you put in. So, as the famous physicist who lived many years ago, Sir Isaac Newton, put it, it is 90% aspiration, that is hard work, and only 10% inspiration. inspiration. So it is only 10% of your brain power you use, but otherwise it is most of it is hard work. So be proud of your achievements. I thank or I congratulate in a very special way. I pay tribute, not only congratulate, but pay tribute to the topmost performing students and those first-class graduates, and you saw two of them here. A boy, 4.93 out of a GP of 5. It's no mean achievement. I'm still waiting to see if students will score 5 out of 5. But our best student here almost did it. So congratulations to that. That's a very, you are a good example. Not only are you brilliant, but also you can, your colleagues and peers and can learn from you how to make sure you use your intellect to the best of your ability. I also thank our partners and the chairperson of our convocation, who donated trophies and other mementos in recognition of the outstanding performance. To the guardians, and I'm coming to slowly to the conclusion, to the parents, guardians, and the benefactors, without exaggeration, graduation is a sweet dream come true for you too. It is really a sweet dream. I sincerely thank you for your immense financial and material support to the graduates, which enabled them to pursue their studies to successful completion. I know it has not been always easy, but without your contribution, it might not have been possible for them to complete their studies here. This is indeed a huge investment you made on their behalf, and the return on your investment is the degrees and other awards they are receiving today. Finally, that's why I've decided to use my time, because this is the last day of our wonderful ceremony. So you'll excuse me for having been so extravagant with the time, to the risk of boring you. But finally, as we come to the end of the 17th graduation ceremony, permit me to extend my sincere appreciation to the following. You see, as there's a saying that you must, if you don't say thank you to those who helped you, they may never help you again. And so we must pay tribute to them. First, to the organizing committee of this ceremony for a job well done. I understand you've really gone through almost sleepless nights to ensure that things work. Members of the security forces for ensuring we had a safe and secure ceremony. The catering staff, for those of us who have been a little privileged to have some eats here, for the delicious foods let me just say, delicious food and other goodies. Thank you. The music disc jockeys, or maybe just, or selectors, as they are sometimes called in the trade. I want to thank you for your performance. The ushers who are over there, thank you too. The deans and the assistants. Oh, I thought I had lost the page. And the assistants who had to read long lists of graduates with ease. You know, it was amazing. People didn't need water, didn't need water, they did. My beautiful young Miss Bearers, these young ladies, really, unfortunately I didn't get their names properly, but I am very pleased with them. I want to thank them. This thing is not easy to carry. It's a little heavy. So, yeah. And also the young man from the performing arts department, and his team who composed and performed for us that wonderful tune. And it reminded us of the olden days, and I almost, if I had what it takes to enjoy a night out in a disco, I almost wanted to join them, and there you are. Thank you so much. The tune was very interesting. I want to, my driver, Mr. Jude Bruno Otieno, and the Assistant Inspector of Police, Madame Annette Kadioli, sorry, who was in charge of the lead car, for making it possible for me to get here on time, always. Thank you very much. To the Deputy Vice, I want also to thank the Vice Chancellor and the team who have worked with me here and ensured I was reading the right cards. I don't just say these words, I confer upon you. No, they give me the right card, and my poor pronunciations and reading notwithstanding, there are things I couldn't understand. Is it apparel? That's something I'm challenged. Last night I wanted to look it up on the internet, and because I had other things to do and I had to make sure I have some rest, so I couldn't. But I will go and look for those words. Dietetics. That is also something. I was almost biting my tongue. So my poor pronunciation and reading notwithstanding. The DBC Academic Affairs, Professor Maria Musoke, my old friend from our years together at Makerere and elsewhere, together with the academic registrar and the staff there, who worked so hard to ensure that the graduation booklet was accurately produced. Thank you very much. And that every finalists who had completed all requirements, because there was a little bit of kerere out there. But I'm glad you stood your ground and made sure that only those who had fulfilled all requirements graduated. So thank you so much also for ensuring that. I thank all of you and wish you a safe journey back at our graduates, now soon to be graduates. Happy celebrations. This is your day for God and my country, knowledge and skills for service. May the good Lord richly bless you.
Another round of applause to our Chancellor for the fatherly, friendly, interesting, exciting remarks. We thank you so much, Mr. Chancellor, for those remarks. They are a clear testimony that this institution is steadily moving towards joining the League of Universities, whose aspiration is to remain locally relevant and globally recognized. At this juncture, Mr. Chancellor, sir, allow me to welcome
Down in it say boom boom pow, pow boom boom pow. On swallow in okunya, bigger on the downy, or nakulona, kumengo zange, nanga nempunya bulunji. Cashin in okubera fresh ngan kwesa downies. Boom boom pow, boom boom pow, pow boom boom pow. On subo nanze mbugaba, ne boom boom pow. Oh what downy, boom boom pow. Wefunire akasaketi ka downy ku siringi 5 zokka.
Want a kick-ass game? Have a good night's sleep.
Get brand new Always Dreams with a wider bag and leak guard channels that lock liquid no matter how you move.
A good night's rest, a kick-ass game.
Did you know that Downy Concentrate softens and freshens 2.5 more clothes per litre than the leading fabric softener? It's more concentrated, so use only 1/3 of a cap.
Get one sachet of Downy Concentrate at 500 shillings.
Tubabeewuuba nga beekulungula wansi ate era ne batandika okwavula pampensi be ne teepu etendewalirwa era n'esumulukuka kati wano kiba kiseera kya pampas kapali ebatuukira ddala obulungi nyangu nnyo okubambaza ne bwe baba batambulatambula ebatuukira ddala era bamala essaawa nga 12 nga bakabe bwe batandika okwavula kimanyirengawo nti kiseera kya pampas
kapale ku siringi kasaavu buli paketi zisigadde ntono.
Down in it say boom boom pow, pow boom boom pow. On swallow in okunya, bigger on the downy, or nakulona, kumengo zange, nanga nempunya bulunji. Cashin in okubera fresh ngan kwesa downies. Boom boom pow, pow boom boom pow. On subo nanze mbugaba, ne boom boom pow. Oh what downy, boom boom pow. Wefunire akasaketi ka downy ku siringi 5 zokka.
Institutions are grappling with migrating from the normal way of doing things to the new normal. Mr. June's study revealed that there are many factors that influence, but the top 3 critical organizational factors that influence sustainable adoption of e-learning are 1, online quality management practices, which accounted for 55.5% of the variance in the adoption of e-learning. The second critical factor was technology leadership practices, which accounted for 47.5% of the variance. And the third critical factor was instructional design strategies, which accounted for 38.7% of the variance in the adoption of e-learning. The study recommended and came up with a profile of critical factors that organizations and institutions need to focus on for sustainably adopting e-learning. Mr. Jude was supervised by Dr. Stephen Dowler and Dr. Francis Naluemba, both senior lecturers in the Faculty of Education. We congratulate you, June Patrick Bijirwa, for this attainment. You can now walk for your...
Okay, so I think I know, and I think I know it. By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy of Makerere University, of Kyambogo University. Apology of Kyambogo University. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've got confidence in you.
Thank you.
Lord.
Mr. Chancellor, sir.
Come here for a photograph.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, the second graduate for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Education of Kyambogo University is Kisa Sarah. Kisa Sarah's study was on teachers' expectations, instructional practices, and P1 learners' competence in mathematics. This study comes on the backdrop of the country's continued declining performance in mathematics, which is a foundational subject for the sciences and for developing critical thinking skills. Sarah's study was based in Busiro North, Wakiso District, and Luka North, Luka District. The study found out that 90% of the teachers were using pedagogical practices which did not promote learners' competence development in mathematics, hence not achieving the desired learning outcomes. The study concluded that having high expectations of learners and choosing highly interactive pedagogical practices leads to enhanced achievement of mathematics competences in P1, which is the foundational class for better achievement in mathematics in higher classes. The study has recommended a profile of competencies for P1 mathematics, which is aligned to instructional strategies which are more likely to enhance achievement of P1 mathematics learning outcomes. And this is critical for teacher training institutions and teachers in practice. Sarah was supervised by Associate Professor Godfrey Eju and Associate Professor Joyce Aikoru Asimwe. Sarah, you can now walk for your conferment. Congratulations.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy of Kyambogo University. Congratulations and well done. Thank you. Please publish, you and the other gentleman, make sure you publish papers out of your thesis. Yeah.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Master of Education Foundations of Kyambogo University. Achuti Kenneth, Atama Blasio Alioma, Opio Patrick, Waiswa Richard.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Master of Education Foundations of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Master of Counseling Psychology of Kyambogo University. Tukundane Lydia, Tuikirize Jean Millie.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Master of Counseling Psychology of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Master of Education in Early Childhood Development of Kyambogo University. Ankunda Grace, Kembubi Grace, Namuyava Robina Beatrice.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Master of Education in Early Childhood Development of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Master of Education in Policy, Planning and Management of Kyambogo University. Asima Maude, Kabanda Anthony, Kajiri Samson, Mayemba Robert, Nambuya Angela, Namwanje Elizabeth, Kole Godfrey, Nwagaba Edson, Nyende Diana, Oboth Joseph.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Master of Education in Policy Planning and Management of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements of the award of the Postgraduate Diploma in Education of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Postgraduate Diploma in Education of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Postgraduate Diploma in Teacher Education of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Teacher Education of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduate who has satisfied the requirements for the award of the Postgraduate Diploma in Educational Management and Leadership of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate that person whose name has been presented for the award of the Postgraduate Diploma in Educational Management and Leadership of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Guidance and Counseling of Kyambogo University. Nakanwa Jinora, first class. Nakawesa Yvonne, first class. Akol, Adikini, Atukunda, Alifuna, Asimwe, Atukunda, Berebera, Buchirwa, Gita, Iradukunda, Kabalisa, Kato, Katai, Kayinza, Chichoncho, Kwagala, Lulenzi, Makumbi, Mutesi, Muwonge, Kabatanda, Nabugasha, Nabukera Shila, Nabukera Sumaya, Nabukwasi, Najuna, Nakabuye, Nakachua, Nakajiri, Nakaye Joan Jena, Nachitende, Nakure, Namanya, Nambogo, Namuga, Namukobe, Namusabi, Namuyimbwa, Nankasa, Natukunda, Nimusima, Nwahereza, Obatiru, Obit, Ochwe, Sande, Taligola.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Guidance and Counseling of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the degree, for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Development Studies of Kyambogo University. Abeja, Abenitwe, Aboth, Achuku, Achwero, Adibo, Adokorach, Adumo, Adur, Afakoru, Agasha, Agea, Aguti, Ahumuza, Akelo Brenda, Akelo Winfred, Akori, Akulu, Akumu Gloria, Akumu Monica, Ali, Alija, Alineitwe, Amade, Amanyire, Amechu, Ameso, Angei, Angeyo, Anyango, Apio Monica, Apio Susan, Ariatuijuka, Asimwe, Asingo, Atkwase, Atuheire, Auma, Awele, Ayebale, Aiko. Babirie Evelyn, Roda, Babirie Zahara, Alituvera, Bainomujisha, Bala, Basemere, Bazibu, Bira, Biriom Maisho, Biinzika, Bujingo, Busoborozi, Businje, Buayo, Buire, Chebugira, Chekwemoi, Chemutai, Cheptoek, Chikamoko, Diko, Dori, Elogu, Elunga, Erumbi, Eumu, Giboni, Hashim, Hijenyi, Hire, Ijala, Ilaborot, Imalu, Isingoma, Ivolongo, Kadodo, Kakungulu, Kalunji, Kanoel, Karangwa, Kasana, Kasemire, Kasemeire, Kato, Katumba, Kayanga, Katoko, Chichoncho Mary, Chichoncho Sarah, Kiza, Kimera, Chisache Innocent, Chisache Jackie, Chiyombo, Kobugabe, Kobusinje, Komakech, Konga, Kurora, Kutia, Kwagala, Kweya, Kwizera, Chazike, Chomuhendo, Lanyero, Lubega, Lubowa, Lujwala, Luantale, Lueso, Magal, Majakira, Mary, Masokoi, Masiko, Mayoku, Mbabazi, Mirembe, Mpumuire, Mugabi, Mugoya, Muhumuza, Mukamwezi, Mukaye, Mukisa, Mukuve, Murunji, Musimenta, Musika, Musire, Musisi, Mutambi, Mutebi, Muwereza, Muzale, Mwase, Nabasa, Nabakoza, Nabire Maureen, Nabire Sumaya, Nabukenya, Nabweteme, Nabwire Justin, Nabwire Sharon, Nagawa, Nahwera, Naigaga, Nakabo, Nakasinde, Nakauma, Nakawesi, Nakaihi, Nachibule, Nachiria, Nachitende, Nachito, Nachiemba, Nakuya, Nalubowa, Nalumansi, Nalutaya, Namanda, Nambazira, Namboze, Nambozo, Namutosi, Namuzungu, Namfuka, Nachinga, Nantale, Nantongo, Nanyonjo, Nanziri, Nasimiyu, Nasanga, Nasuna, Natuhwera, Naturinda, Natweta, Ndianabo, Ndiomugabe, Ngabirano, Ngabire, Nimusima, Ntulume, Nuwagaba, Nuwaha, Nyamata, Obiru, Obonyo, Ochen, Odieng, Ogwal, Okwi, Omara, Onyang, Opolot, Osilo, Otima, Oomjisha, Owor John Vianney, Owor Nobat, Saddam, Tebanyang, Tibiwabia, Tukamushaba, Tusime, Twinamasko, Owimana, Vital, Wabukawo, Waiswa, Wangolo, Waswa, Wepondi, Weajik, Wobudundu, Yeko, Sejemba, Tusime.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Development Studies of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the Bachelor of Education of Kyambogo University. Odagwi Tony, first class. Ochen Martin, first class. Nandutu Irene Eunice, first class. Akol Agnes, first class. Orotin John Paul, first class. Elanyu Joseph, first class. Atukunda Dickson, first class. Kamujisha James, first class. Aweu Moses, first class. Ariho Innocent, first class. Turiahwera Barnabas, first class. Ochaya Polycarp, first class. Rukundo Justus Tumusime, first class. Nakayemba Grace, first class. Ogwang Isaac, first class. Orisa Bosco, first class. Ahebwa John, first class. Biriaho Gilbert, first class. Adoch, Achen, Ageta, Akumu, Aliku, Ampurire, Amuge, Andrionzi, Angol, Anzo, Apio, Awidi, Awino, Ayeko, Ayeni, Ayuro, Baguma, Bandovera, Banduyo, Bazade, Bileni, Buambale, Chandia Christopher, Chandia Ronald, Dibo, Ebiot, Ebong, Echoni, Eiru, Emong, Erayu, Etima, Ewalu, Isabirie, Juma, Kamujisha, Kanyesije, Katandi, Kilama, Kitandwe, Komakech, Chanda, Latigo, Likicho, Masava, Kasanga, Masiga, Mawanda, Mbwirahe, Mugume, Mukwaya, Muloli, Mwebe, Nabuma, Nakato, Nachintu, Namboze, Nampungu, Namuhoma, Ngabirano, Niwamanya, Ntireganya, Nyalwonga, Obonyo, Ochan, Ochen, Ochieng, Odongo, Oduko, Ojiambo, Ojobi, Okalany, Okino, Okwanga, Omulei, Opio, Opus, Osia, Otim, Oye, Ruashaija, Saja, Salama, Sande, Senyondo, Serwanga, Simiyu, Sebuliba, Tamukede, Tuhamibwe, Tumusimwe, Turiagumanawe, Tushabe, Drijaru, Oguti, Enyutu.
Okay. Sorry, brother. I have a bad phone, which even if I switched it off, if there is any incoming call to allow it to go through, so it is very bad. So, by virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Education of Kyambogo University. Congratulations.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for their conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Education order of Kyambogo University. Abigaba, Abola, Adar, Akumu, Aliga, Aluma, Aluri, Asimwe, Balonde, Bazanye, Bikala, Birungi, Buga, Buza, Echomu, Egiru, Egonyu, Emaru, Gwaita, Isabire, Isiko, Kafuku, Kaliesubura, Tibet, Kibet, Kinobe, Kisembo, Kituno, Kula, Chalimpa, Makafu, Murukuru, Nangoli, Napulu, Ntulume, Nuaha, Obong, Odokopira, Odongo, Ogwang, Okelo James, Okelo Matia, Okelo Max, Okwi, Olem, Oluka, Omaria, Omonyi, Opada, Opio, Otim, Samanya, Sempungu, Senkaba, Tugume, Tulimubona, Wakata.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Education, Odell of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Teacher Education of Kyambogo University. Oyugi Bosco Komakech, first class, Abid Rabosande, first class, Anena Kennedy, first class, Bikanga Kenneth, first class, Opira Albert, first class, Nakanwanji Muaimini, first class, Odongo Bosco, first class, Giramia Faith, first class, Maganda Yoeri, first class, Iwama Zakari Ojara, first class, Mukama Charles, first class, Chimbugwe Alex Kayemba, first class, Muhindo Vincent, first class, Mpirirwe Jacqueline, first class, Opio John, first class, Nicodemus Epaphras, first class, Abalo Evelyn Otim, first class, Awar Mary Immaculate, first class, Oswana Brian Paul, first class, Asimwe Fiona, first class. Abihuka, Abima, Abwala, Achan, Adul, Afoyo Roth, Ainomjisha, Ajok, Akalang, Alum, Alumai, Alupo, Amandu, Amoding, Sarah, Amoding, Sikola, Amongin, Amonyi, Angudeyo, Anwar, Apio Doris, Apio Grace, Apio Olga, Apita, Ariamo, Asio, Atim, Auma, Aweko, Awio, Ayo, Bahemuka, Baluku, Bihira, Bua, Buire, Chebet, Dawa, Echingo, Ekopai, Eletu, Elong, Emiku, Emo, Erechu, Gubi, Habasa, Inau, Irebu, Kalembe, Kampaire, Kantayomba, Kasibe, Kasoba, Kitali, Chiza, Kwesiga, Chomukama, Chosimie, Maridio, Matila, Mpango, Mukimba, Mulabi, Nabwera, Nakabugo, Nakaira, Nakut, Nanyonga, Nkwasibwe, Nyakuni, Nyangoma, Oboi, Obot, Obura, Odeke, Odongo, Ofono, Ogugu, Ogu, Ojok, Okau, Okelo Jimmy Pope, Okelo Newton, Okelo Richard Collins, Okiror, Opolot, Ruba, Sevume, Takali, Thembo, Tiko Edna, Tiko Justin, Wadribo, Walukana, Wamalugu.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Teacher Education of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Educational Planning and Management of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Educational Planning and Management of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduate who has satisfied the requirement for the award of the Diploma in Guidance and Counseling of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all that person whose name has been presented for the award of the Diploma in Guidance and Counseling of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Education, Early Childhood Development of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Education, Early Childhood Development of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Early Childhood Development of Kyambogo University of Soroti Learning Center.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented on the award of the Diploma in Early Childhood Development of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Instructors Technical Teacher Education of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Instructors Technical Teacher Education of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Education Primary External of Kyambogo University from the following DEPE centers: Chibuli PTC, Jinja PTC, Canon Lawrence PTC, Boroboro, Kabwangasi PTC, Bikira PTC, Rakai, Busubizi PTC, St. George's PTC, Ibanda, Christ the King, Gulu PTC, St. Aloysius PTC, Ngora, St. John Bosco PTC, Lodonga.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Education Primary of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Special Needs Education External of Kyambogo University.
Okero Joshua, first class. Chomuhanj Akijaje.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Science in Laser Turning Technology of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Sports Management of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in sports management of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in computer science of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in computer science of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in food processing technology of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in food processing technology of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in science, technology, biology of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in science, technology, biology of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in science, technology, chemistry of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in science, technology, chemistry of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in science, technology, physics of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in science, technology, physics of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the certificate in food processing technology of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the certificate in food processing technology of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the certificate in science, laboratory technology of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the certificate in science, laboratory technology of Kyambogo University. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Master of Science in Structural Engineering of Kyambogo University. Achidri Samuel, Basaja Nsolo Patrick Kabito, Karubanga Adolf Owino Stephen.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Master of Science in Structural Engineering of Kyambogo University. No collapsing buildings, please.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Manufacturing Systems Engineering of Kyambogo University. Bwenje Innocent, Ongom Christopher Adoko, Mafabi Peter.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Manufacturing Systems Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Master of Science in Water and Sanitation Engineering of Kyambogo University. Achayo Grace, Amolo Caroline Judith, Asimwe Arnold, Mafabi Martins, Nyesigire Resti.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Master of Science in Water and Sanitation Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Master of Science in Construction Technology and Management of Kyambogo University. Asingwire Myers, Atukwasa Agre, Baguma Andrew, Binji Francis, Elong Samuel, Eonya Julius, Isoba John, Kamwaka Naomi, Mugabi Ronald, Nabala Moses, Namara Barbara, Natkunda Nathan, Seninde Stephen, Tuinama Siko Diklas.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Master of Science in Construction Technology and Management of Kyambogo University. Again, please, no more collapsing buildings.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Telecommunication Engineering of Kyambogo University. Kivumbi Ronald, first class. Mayanja Deo, first class. Wandera Alan Mark, first class. Abaho, Abananye, Ahabwe, Ahimbisibwe, Ainembabazi, Ainomugisha, Akawai, Alinda, Alum, Alwong, Arinaitwe, Edgar Arinaitwe, Nelly Asasira Innocent, Atuhangaine, Atuine, Basima, Borekire, Chekaptui, Etiang, Galabuzi, Gumisiriza, Isa, Isa Abirie, Isaya, Jawori, Jumba, Kabashambo, Kabi, Kaliemenya, Katana, Kato, Katuga, Kemigisha, Keno, Kijo, Kisalu, Kuoba, Lugwire, Lule, Madi, Mande, Matovu, Mugalu, Mugenyi, Mukasa, Mukuye, Musime, Muyambi,
Nabuchalo, Nabuloli, Nakabiri, Nakagiri, Nakaja, Nachibuka, Nakintu, Nalera, Nalwasa, Nasilu, Ndiowe, Namala, Nsadu, Nsubuga, Ochimil, Odede, Ogola, Okelo, Okecho, Okiria, Okuny, Oriem, Rubangakene, Shalita, Tumwebaze, Tumwesije, Tusubira, Waswa, Wauyo.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Telecommunication Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Electrical Engineering of Kyambogo University. Waswa Joseph Mark, first class. Buyungo Henry, first class. Sebagala Titus, first class. Jumba Joseph, first class. Kigundu Jimmy, first class. Kayemba Henry, first class. Abaine, Ainomuhwezi, Akanga, Akiki, Aliganyira, Alioni, Asasira, Asimwe, Atusimire, Bagonza, Balimungulira, Busulwa, Gita, Kafuluma, Kakembo, Kalema, Kanyerezi, Kasirie, Kato, Katwe, Kavuma, Kawesa, Kibuka, Kigundu, Kimboa, Kirabo, Kisera, Kisembo, Kiwanuka, Kwamusi, Cheyune, Lubanga, Lubega, Lukungu, Lutwama, Makumbi, Mivule, Mugweri, Mukambya, Mukasa, Mukwana, Muramuzi, Musabe, Musime, Mutesa Siza, Muwonge, Mwebe, Mwesigwa, Nabasa, Nahabwe, Naigembe, Nakito, Nalubira, Namanya, Namuga, Nansubuga, Ndaula, Niwamanya, Nkoyoyo, Nuwajuna, Nyongesa, Ochuli, Odongo, Oguta, Okiria, Okitui, Okori, Oligo, Omoding, Opio, Orukan, Rubizi, Sanya, Senjobe, Sida, Sechibembe, Semakula, Seninde, Sentongo, Setumba, Swaga, Taremwa, Tamarwe, Tumwebaze, Anxious, Tumwebaze, God, Turiagumanawe, Twesije, Wakolesha, Waliaula, Waswa, Cosmas Bukenya, and Waswa Joel.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Electrical Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Civil and Building Engineering of Kyambogo University. Mashale Sowedi, first class. Abiriamazo Charity, first class. Lumenya Abdul Karim, first class. Ochiti Jeff Odur, first class. Komakech Richard Caesar, first class. Odiek Edwin 7, first class. Ahurira Solomon, first class. Kakusu Nasa, first class. Arinda Daisy, first class. Akobo Josephine, first class. Suna Asharaf, first class. Ukefi Kennedy, first class. Nalutaya Edgar, first class. Abigaba Acham, Agaba, Ahimbisibwe, Ahurira, Ainamani, Ainomugisha Bright, Ainomugisha Dorin, Akena, Aleku, Amanio, amanya amutuhaire andama anena aneno arineitwe asimwe Alex, asimwe Edwin, asimwe Timothy, asiku Fred, atejeka Rodney, atuhaire Federi, atuhaire Willy, atuhuerire Awori, ayebazibwe bali kudembe basirika bagumirwa buteme byamukama eibu emetai himbisa ihunde inima irumba isingoma Julius isingoma Richard kagoya kakaire kakenga kasozi katongole kawoya kayuba kigundu kigonya kiguli kinyera kirega kiza chaze lalobo lapiem latigo laula lav lutimba mabirizi maiku maliki matovu mayega mayeku mbuga Peire, Mugabe Harun, Mugabe Victor, Muganga Nicholas, Mugara, Mugisha, Mugoya, Mukibi, Mukono, Musera, Musime, Musinguzi, Mutesi, Mutethu, Muzani, Mwambu, Mwesigwa, Mwonda, Nabimanya, Namubiru, Namuli, Namuiga, Nandiowa, Nankabirwa, Nankumba, Nankunda, Nasikombi, Ngabirano, Kongi, Nshuti, Nuamanya, Obonyo, Ochaya, Ochom, Odoch, Odur, Ogali, Ogik, Okelo Denish, Okelo Lee, Okelo Simon, Okune, Okwiri, Omara, Ongom, Onzima, Opio Joseph, Opio William, Opua, Osbat, Otede, Owera, Owin, Pade, Risa, Rubangakene, Sagal, Sebagala, Sembatia, Sali, Sebagala, Senkubuge, Sewankambo, Sewanyana, Thomas, Tibenkana, Tuhabwe, Tumusime Benson, Tumusime Bonita, Tumuijuche, Tumuine, Twesije, Tuina Masiko, Tuino Mujuni, Wabi, Walugembe, and Yiga.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of engineering in civil and building engineering of Kyambogo University. I hesitated a bit because of the problem we have with our buildings.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering of Kyambogo University. Ekulu Deogratias, first class. Agaba, Aguma, Ainebiona, Aloti, Amanya, Amar, Ampaire, Amuku, Ariganyira, Arinda, Asimire, Asimwe, Atugonza, Atuhamie, Atuijukire, Arnold, Atuijukire, Bruce, Ayesiga, Babalanda, Bagampange, Bagonza, Bahiga, Bainomugisha, Baraka, Besije, Bira, Birunji, Bisaso, Bogere, Bomukama, Bugabwa, Bukenya, Bwambale Landus, Bwambale Semu, Byamugisha, Byaruhanga, Bionanevye, Dembe, Draru, Edyangu, Egau, Etwoku, Gumisiriza, Jagenda, Ira, Irot, Isingoma, Kafero, Kalule, Kasule, Kato, Kiberu, Kibuka, Kiza, Kihembo, Martin, Kiza, Stanley, Kimera, Kiyaka, Kukunda, Kulubya, Kuikiriza Agnes, Kuikiriza Innocent, Chabanji, Chomuhendo, Lubwama, Lutakome, Luemba, Luima, Luimbazi, Mabuye, Makune, Maniraguha, Masereka, Mayambala, Mayanja, Mirembe Derek, Mirembe Esther, Mpuga, Muganzi, Muhereza, Muhindo Joel, Muhindo Ronald, Muhumuza, Mukama, Mukibi, Mukonyenzi, Mukusaya, Mulondo, Muyanja, Muzahura, Muima, Nabifo, Nabuma, Nagawa, Nachibinge, Nangaka, Nasasira, Nasaka, Ngabirano, Saviyumva, Nuamara, Nyamuchingani, Ochen, Ocheng, Odong, Ojie, Okelo, Okeng, Okiror Isaac, Okiror Martin, Okot, Okumu, Omunet, Ongom, Otile, Ruhanga, Rukundo, Samanya, Senyonyi, Sishe, Sali, Sekamate, Sechide, Sempija, Sentamu, Sereve, Setimba, Swaibu, Takima, Thembo, Thusike, Tuhumure, Tumusime, Tumwesige, Tundulu, Tumwesije, Tusime, Tusingwire, Wako, Walukaga, Wamala, Wandera, Wanzala, Wavamuno, Womai, Yiga, Zemai.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Architecture of Kyambogo University. Ashaba, Aturinde, Biwaga, Cherotich, Kaube, Mataka, Mulema, Muzora, Mwesije, Nuagaba, Nuaha, Obol, Okot, Sechizivu, Turiahabwe, Walakira, Wokorach.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Architecture of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Building Economics of Kyambogo University. Ndelema Gloria, first class. Tuine Mukama, Joseph, first class. Abe, Ageta, Ainomugisha, Akatuijuka, Aliwebwa, Ankunda, Arinda, Asato, Atigo, Biensi, Chebet, Elabe, Epoku, Gimono, Guma, Idiro, Kabeho, Kagoda, Kajumba, Kalumba, Kanolo, Kawalia, Kichoncho, Kisache, Kivumbi, Lutaya, Magoba, Makibwe, Masereka, Matovu, Mugenyi, Mugoda, Nabulime, Nabushunu, Naibira, Nakabuye, Nakalyango, Nakato, Nakito, Nambajwe, Namirembe, Nankole, Nansambu, Nasozi, Natkunda, Nuwabasa, Obalim, Odongo, Okelo, Okoth, Othieno, Otim, Oyela, Sekade, Sekonde, Tekiba, Tumuijuche, Umoja, Wadribo, Waswa, Wandera, Waswa, Watibin.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Science in Building Economics of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Surveying and Land Information Systems of Kyambogo University. Achola Loy, Achiro Ademun, Ainobu Sinje, Akatukunda Akelo Amanyire Ampumuza, Andruale, Apedo Asasira Asimwe Ategeka Ayot Bainomugisha Banyanga Basima Bira Brenda Businje Bwire Egunyu Ekoju Emiru Etiem Eyotre Gatre Gumisa Ithungu Kajiri Kakaire Kamulindwa Kansime Kanyike Kasirie, Katumba, Kayongo, Kiza, Kirabira, Lubanga, Magala, Mayanja, Mayega, Mirembe, Muganga, Munaba, Mungudit, Mutabazi, Muijuche, Nabudo, Nabudere, Nabiayi, Nagawa, Nalunkuma, Namata, Namirembe, Namuyanga, Nasasira, Naturinda, Ndagire Tracy Amelia. Mr. Chancellor, I would like to pause and say that this graduate, number 60 on my book, Ndagire Tracy Amelia, is graduating posthumously. She passed on Monday, the 20th of September, 2021, and was buried yesterday.
Oh.
May her soul rest in peace.
Oh, sorry.
I can continue now. Ngweno, Niyonsaba, Nsubuga, Nuagaba, Nyakahuma, Nyameri, Nyangoma, Odiet, Odongpin, Okiror, Okunu, Onyera, Oundo, Serwanga, Segai, Sekasala, Semfuka, Sesanga, Tuine.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Science in Surveying and Land Information Systems of Kyambogo University, also posthumously to the one who has passed on. Very sad indeed.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Land Economics of Kyambogo University. Kato Mayanja, first class. Arinda Muine Macklin, first class. Abenaitwe Aikirize Alok Amanya Amia Amulen Anywar Ashaba Ashemeza Atim Atukwatse Auma Bagole Bwire Byaruhanga Chekwemoi Egesa Fathum Gizaza Ikiriza Kagoda Kakuba Kamashara Kasozi Kibenge Kisadaki Kithula Kusasira Kusemererwa Malinga Mbabazi Mubiru Mude Mugasha Muhirwa Muhizi Muhumuza Mukasa Murunji Mutatina Mwesje Nabosa Nabuyondo Nabwire Nahamya Nakalembe Nakato Nakintu Namatovu Namazi Namutebi Namfuka Nankabirwa Nanyunja Nasirumbi Naturinda Ndagire Neromi Kenuye Kurununji Nyaruhuma Nyiramugisha Obaita Ojangole Okudi Olule Otim Serwada Sande Taremwa Tumwine Turiahabwe Turiasingura Twakire and Waiswa.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Science in Land Economics of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Vocational Studies in Technological Studies with Education of Kyambogo University. Akileng, Apunyo, Atuyambe, Beijuka, Bulega, Kabugo, Kafumbe, Kawesi, Kiza, Kutesa, Muonge, Simire Mukama, Nuenyesiga, Nyetegejerize, Onyango, Ruva.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Vocational Studies in Technological Studies with Education of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Environmental Engineering and Management of Kyambogo University. Jemba Mark, first class. Birunji Ismail, first class. Alaku Bashabe Bayo Beinomugisha Birunji Bukenya Dungala Gibedia Iga Iragaba Kalule Kanari Kasekende Kato Kemigisha Kirinya Kirunda Kulundu Mugabo Mugwisa Mukondwa Muyingo Nabukenya Naduli Najuma Nakato Natukunda Nyeko Zirambi Ochema Okelo Otima Owomuhanji Sengendo Senteza Sempija Tukamwesiga Twesije Twinomuhanji Aniyiya.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Environmental Engineering and Management of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Industrial Engineering and Management of Kyambogo University. Kagombe Kevin, first class. Biamugisha Lawrence, first class. Nansubuga Shakika, first class. Mukasa Mike Isaac, first class. Aijuka Ainebiona Ajiko Asimwe Atuhaire Aura Ayebale Bikondo Biamugisha Biaruhanga Dumba Efumbi Epet Fambi Habialimana Kai Kabanda Kadu Kaijuka Kasule Katusabe Keba Kintu Kinyera Kirabo Kolia Lule Lualaga Mangeni Masereka Masiko Mbambu Menya Mubiru Mugabula Muhindo Mujuni Mukibi Mukwano Musanje Mutiaba Navale Nabukenya Nalubega Ninsima Obina Obore Ojuka Opeli Rabugahia Sembatia Setumba Semogerere Sengoba Setumba Trarubo Tuhumuire Walwasa Wambi and Womugisa.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Industrial Engineering and Management of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Automotive and Power Engineering of Kyambogo University. Kasule Gerald, first class. Kokode Myers Herod, first class. Adebua Agumenaitwe Aijuka Akankwatsa Hilary Akankwatsa Robert Amanya Amoru Aretor Asimwe Atuine Ayesiga Aiko Baguma Julius Baguma Pison Bareche Bashaija Bale Bukenya Bwire Biamukama Drasiku Ekwasu Emaju Engwau Itaza Kagava Kajebe Kamukama Kamusime Kasuja Kasule Kato Katongole Kaiwa Kemisi Kigenyi Kinalwa Kisalita Kiyaga Komaket Shobe Luganzi Lutaya Haman Joseph Lutaya Yosia Nelson Magezi Magola Mayeku Mande Mpuga Mugabi Mukalazi Mulondo Musasizi Musoke Mutasa Mutatina Mutoro Mwesigwa Nahabwe Nachibuka Nachiriowa Namakajo Namanyi Namuyomba Nangosha Ntende Oboi Ochan Ogwang Odele Olupot Omara Otai Otim Oyang Sebugwao Sechibengo Semakula Senabulia Senoga Seguya Senyonga Seremba Sonko Subil Tubugwisha Tumuhimbise Tumwetabe Wakate Walusimbi Walusoma Were, and Yiga.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Automotive and Power Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the higher diploma in mechanical engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the higher diploma in mechanical engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the higher diploma in electrical engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the higher diploma in electrical engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the higher diploma in civil and building engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the higher diploma in civil and building engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in education secondary technological studies of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in education secondary of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in biomedical engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in biomedical engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in architecture of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in architecture of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in civil and building engineering, Kabale of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the diploma in the civil and building engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the diploma in civil and building engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Civil and Building Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Electrical Engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Electrical Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Water Engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Water Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Mechanical Engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Mechanical Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Computer Engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Computer Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Telecommunications Engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Telecommunication Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Automobile Engineering of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Automobile Engineering of Kyambogo University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the graduates who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Refrigeration and Air Conditioning of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I congratulate all those persons whose names have been presented for the award of the Diploma in Refrigeration and Air Conditioning of Kyambogo University. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chancellor, sir. I would like to request us to stand up.
Ladies and gentlemen and Master of Ceremonies, allow me to remain seated because of the, I think I've sat for too long. When I've been around for too long, I'm beginning to experience a little bit of one ease in the feet. So let me stay for the rest of the items left. Thank you.
And Mr. Chancellor, to request you to dissolve the third session of the 17th congregation of Kyambogo University.
By virtue of the authority entrusted to me, I dissolve the third session of the 17th congregation of Kyambogo University.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, as we mark the end of the 17th graduation ceremony of Kyambogo University, we thank you, Allah, for having enabled us go through the entire arrangement. We thank you for the time. We thank you for the good weather. We ask you in our journey, righteousness and piety, and of work that you are pleased with. Make our journey easy for us, and shower unto us your mercies. We seek refuge in you from the hardship of travel. Be our companion as we travel back to our families. Replace any hardship with ease. Give us good on earth and good in the hereafter, and prevent your anger from us. Amen.
Remain standing for the anthems.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani.